Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to actually talk about EURUSD. Talk about EURUSD right now. Um, so on EURUSD, what should we expect from next week? Okay, so now price, you can see when price started on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame. Let's start from there. Price started making um, these higher highs and higher lows. Lower highs and lower lows. Then started squeezing. Price started squeezing when it got to this place, which we should consider as a very nice pattern that's actually broke structure and then continued to the upside. Okay, so now after price did this, so what should we look for? Okay, so from Euro US dollar, you can see price created this particular supply zone that is around here, and then that supply, you can see this rejection from this candle. It's rejected backward, and it rejected backward but finally got to break structure, right? So that supply zone was able to break. So that is why I always talk about supply to demand flip, right? So that is a very important. So when you see supply, right, then this is how it is actually. Let me take this drawing too. So when price is coming down, you see price will create a supply zone right here. That's a base drop, and after price started getting to this area, it rejects and then pulls back, right? So that pullback that has been created, price doesn't need to come back and break that particular pullback because it is actually coming from a very strong supply zone that's actually created creating a particular pullback, which will now turn demand as a rally-based rally, right? So now you can see from here, you see that price breaks this particular structure, and in that sense, you should now be looking for a supply zone. So now you can see we call this a supply to demand flip, right? So now, or you can just say a V flip, because you can see from here price came down, give a sharp push to the upside, then it hit the supply zone, creating a demand zone, then pushing to the upside once again. So from this particular place, this now becomes your demand zone, right? And what you should be expecting is you should be expecting price to come and hit that particular zone, and you expect to see what price rallying, maybe create some small confirmation for you to enter, then start rallying to the upside. So that is what we call supply to demand, right? And also the opposite for demand to supply. So demand to supply in another case is when price goes up, creates a rally to the upside. Then when it comes back, it hit a particular base, then it goes back, creating a pullback, and that pullback now rallies to the upside, breaking the previous structure that was actually the strong zone for the structure. So this is how it is. You see, we have support and resistance. So from here, you can see price was actually a resistance zone for this. Okay, when price hits this, it was actually a support zone from this. Okay, then after that, what did we see? We see that price started creating a resistance. So from that resistance, that particular structure that was able to break this particular resistance zone is this particular pullback from here. So now what should you be looking for? See, this is the pullback you're supposed to be waiting for price to come. When price does break this particular pullback, which means the trend is going back to the downside. And in this case, this becomes a new support and resistance zone, as well as compared to how other traders take support and resistance. So when I was trading support, and this was how I was actually looking at it. Anytime price breaks through and it comes and hit, but when it breaks, the next thing I'm looking for is price to come and hit this particular place. But one thing that I actually didn't like about support and resistance, and the reason why I changed from support and resistance, is because in support and resistance, it's not that it is not profitable. It is actually profitable, but what I wanted to have is a smaller stop losses. So you can see in support and resistance, you will be like, this is my support, and this place is now my resistance. So now, anytime, so you want to see price break and retest, right? So which you'll be waiting for right now. But from here, if I put my entry right here, my stop loss has to be below this particular structure, because I didn't know about this particular rally. All I just know is that when price comes, it might wick this particular zone. You can see it has created a lot of dojis on that side, so it can wick this particular zone, which is what I actually didn't like. I know after it wicks it, it can come and wick it like this, then it will continue back to the upside. That is why, as SMC traders, what I look for is actually a confirmation. Yes, support and resistance, we do look for supply confirmations, because when it comes here, you're looking for an engulfing candle or a morning star or any other candle pattern. But with the smart money concept, what I do like about it is that you shouldn't have to be waiting for an engulfing candle, right? Because this one, you can't say this is a morning star on the 2 hour time frame. So with this, you have a very clear clarity that price is actually going to the upside. So from now, let's go back to our lesson. So you can see after price, after this demand zone was broken, so actually this one is now not a valid demand zone for me at the moment. It has been broken and it has been retested by this particular. So you can see this is now the candle that took this particular one. It never got wicked, thankfully, and this is where the price continued. So we have supply to demand. We have supply to demand, right? Supply to demand right here. Actually, so sorry, supply then demand. Came back and tapped, and then we pushed it offside. Now we have another demand zone that we would like price to come and tap, because with this, it is actually this demand zone that actually broke the structure. You can see this structure has been broken. This one has been broken as well, and this particular structure has been broken as well on the 2 hour for the time frame. So with this structure, you can see we have the structure starting from this particular place, and this is it. So now price, what I'm looking at is price to come and use this particular zone to move back to the upside, but also I'm looking at other things around this area as a potential area for price to come and look up to. So where would my POI be? So for me to pick my POI, let's go back to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, I'll actually pick my POI with this particular candle right here, this particular one right here, right? Because it is before this particular, it is before that candle, that price. So let's give it a gray on the particular candle. And now you can see price has actually not broken that candle. Let's give some markups on this particular area. So let's take this as a break of structure. That is above. So now let's take this as a break of structure, and we have the major break of structure to the upside. So now some of you might ask, why wouldn't I pick this one, this particular one, this one here? Yes, this one is valid, but as looking at where the structure, you can see this candle wicked this particular structure before coming back as a pullback, right? So that makes it invalid for me to take longs. For me, that is how my trading rule is. Others might take this one longs on the minute time frame and it will be very profitable. It is uncomparable, right? Everybody how his trading style looks like. Okay, we all trade SMC, but with different trading rules. So now from here, I'll now be looking for price to come and actually mitigate around this area, and then before it reaches this particular one, because this area also has broken this particular structure, but this doesn't look more or less like a structure, because it just doesn't look as a structure more or less to me, but as also a demand zone. That's an old supply zone rather, because you see we have this that actually took this down, this particular one. Let's give it some light color. So that actually took this particular one to the downside. Now it is that same thing, this whole demand area from this place. When you go to the daily, this will actually be a demand area for you. This whole place, let's mark it as red, which actually took this particular demand to down, that's creating this particular demand area. And this whole thing too is also a demand area. Let me take it with a different approach. Okay, let me take this red. So this whole thing here is actually a demand area. And as well as that, we have this here, giving us the clarity that this is a full demand area. But now if you refine it, that's what you're getting. So from here, you can see we have this strong move to the downside, creating this particular demand, huge demand. Now it hit from here, came back, and now broke structure. So when you hide your charts, this is what you do see, right? And when you see this, you will know that this particular one is giving you a clarity as to what you should be looking for. So from here, you want price to come here, mitigate, then come here, give you a confirmation, then you take price to higher areas as if it actually meets your trading plan. So now what do we expect from this? Just hold on for me. So with this, that is what you should actually be looking for. Let's bring back our charts. So from our charts, you can see with this, my chart is not actually clear right now, but we have this particular. So now let's take this as a breakout structure, or we can say this, and then we take this down one as a choke. Okay, change of character. So from here it becomes a change of character for us, because price has changed its behavior and is now actually. These names are just fancy names, has no meaning actually. So now I change of character. above. All right. So now this is a break of structure. This hasn't given us a change of character yet because it is actually still an uptrend, right? So, and this uptrend will continue until it is being broken, right? So to really consider this a pullback, we don't know yet until price gives us a reason to believe this as a pullback, right? Or as a strong impulse. So with this, let's actually look at what we should be looking for on the minute time frame, right? Actually, I wanted to take a screenshot of this for my thumbnail. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So with this, so let's go back to the lower time frames and check to see what we should be looking for on the lower time frames. So I think with this, I think you get a better explanation on this. So this is my POI, as I said. Now let's go back to the 2-hour time frame. So on the 2-hour, this is what you should be seeing. This one has actually engulfed, actually broken. This is a very nice POI. We can even refine to this particular candle right there. We can refine it to this, but I think I would say it with this. So I can go to the 15 minutes to get my refined area to take price, right? So from here, you can see this was a particular demand zone that actually was broken by this. So now this whole area is my area that I should be looking for the zone to be. So I should be expecting price to actually come and tap into this and give me a reason to take a buy, right? So if this doesn't give me a reason, then I'll actually be waiting for something else. Because actually right now, EURUSD is bearish at the moment, a very strong bearish movement. Because when you look at the monthly time frame, we are coming from a very strong supply zone that actually created a very strong move as well. So you can see we had this break of structure from here, and this is the demand zone that it is coming from, and you can see how strong this is. That actually came from this particular one as well, as it broke structure. And now you can see from there, you can see price started moving to the downside. So will EURUSD break this? Where I'm actually expecting EURUSD to reach, it's actually here and then here, right? That is my target for EURUSD sell. But if it gives me a reason to go long, yes, I will, because I follow the market and I don't predict it. I just react to whatever it gives me. So back to our 15 minutes, like, right? So on the 15 minutes, that is what I'm looking at for some small smooth buys. So should I be looking? Should I take a sell for this buy? Yes, if it gives me a reason. I don't have a POI at the moment right here, but I can see this is actually a pause. Let's go to the. So this is actually just a pause. Okay, just actually a pause. Where I should be looking to take my trade is when it reaches this area of supply. Then you can see from demand to supply. Yeah, I just from the demand to supply. If you can do see, so that's how I'm looking for that area as my supply zone. So now that is what I'm looking for. Price reaches here, then I'll have a reason to take buys. So as price, it has not reached the end of the trend yet. We can see a slow movement of price here. If you're a pattern trader, you should be looking at this for a sell at the moment, because this should be your high, and whatever happens around this area should be your targets to the downside for to reach your 90% risk to reward. So now, hope you guys have had a glimpse of what I'm looking at on EURUSD, and for this reason, I would like to climax everything and just let us move on. So as I said, this is actually a lookup onto what I actually see in price. And also, yes, okay, the second thing I should be looking at and should be telling you guys is so this is the supply zone on the lower time frame that actually created this particular mitigation, this supply zone. So that is why it's always advised to go to the lower time frames to refine your entries. So you can see from here it was done by this, and I'll actually take this as my POI again, because it's a very strong area to look at for. So I have 3 POIs right now. This, if this doesn't work, I know what I want is this is actually not a valid POI for me. So let me just take it out. So I have 2 currently, and this is also another demand area that we should have possibly been looking for a sell, because it actually broke the structure, as you can see from here. And this is what it has done. It reacted off of this, which is a very strong zone that we should be looking for. So now from here, you can see price actually rallied, broke this structure with an impulsive move. And what do we always look for? We always look for candles. So now let's refine it to this particular one here. So I should be looking for this particular one here. So from here, then so I should be shifting this actually. Whatever happens around here should be what I should do, because this has actually it seems to have even been tapped, mitigated. Is it valid? Is it not valid? We don't know yet. Let's just wait for price to come down. Okay, it has been mitigated actually, it took the longs away, because when we refine this to this place, this is the engulfed one, and refine it to here, as we can see. Yes, so it has actually been tapped, but I think just barely. So we should be waiting for something else to come and give us a reason to go long. So that is actually what I have on Euro US dollar. So see you next week.